Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights special Thanksgiving episode. A lot to be thankful for. There's not a race to see who's more thankful, but I'm extremely thankful. I'm not trying to compete in my thankfulness, but I've had a great ride. It's been a great year in many respects. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be extremely thankful. Still enjoying doing the podcast. I'm thankful for that. I've got a bunch of listeners, and I'm always welcome to have more, but just enjoying the interaction with some of them. And it's been a lot of fun to get to know some of them a little bit better and have them on and to know that we've got a great hobby that we can experience together. Doing the podcast, I want to thank sponsors, obviously, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. Each one of those was handpicked by me. I mean, they had to say yes that they wanted to be a sponsor back in the day, but that's been fun to have the same sponsors. It puts my recitation of the sponsors a little bit on autopilot. I hope you'll forgive me for that. Yet I noticed that there's podcasts out there that have lots of ads that are, some of which have nothing to do with the hobby, and that's certainly their prerogative. But when I want to get in and get out in 15 minutes or less, which is my brand promise for this podcast, I can't be having extensive music lead-ins, but some people have really cool music in an intro and outro, and that's great. But for me, I just want to have something short and sweet, get into it, get to the meat of it. And then I'm also thankful to still have the energy, the desire, and I guess enough ability to be able to produce my own episodes. What I lose on the quality of the audio, because I'm not going to some professional studio or having somebody do extreme cleanup on the audio, I make up for it in being able to control what I want to say. I don't want somebody else to edit my episodes, and it allows me to do something here on the evening before Thanksgiving, and so I can be more timely. I don't have to ship the episode over to somebody and let them clean up the audio or shorten it or delete redundancies, which unfortunately I have repeated myself before, even within the same episode. So still enjoying doing the recap episodes. So I don't need to be thanking a bunch of people, especially recently or this year, because I get to do some of that in the recap episodes, and very thankful for my guests. I'm thankful for listeners, thankful for my family. I think Thanksgiving is a big part of family. We'll have a whole bunch of people over tomorrow, both sides of the family, celebrate with turkey and other kinds of Thanksgiving type food, obviously more. And I realize that when you're thankful, it's better to be thankful for people than for stuff. You have great people in your life, and you might have some good stuff in your life. And when you're thankful for the people more so than the stuff, cards don't count as people. Okay, cards are pictures of people, but they are not the people. Thanksgiving, it's better to be with the people, not the pictures of the people. On the other hand, if you have friends or family out of town that can't make it, you be thankful for them and just look at their picture, I guess. The day after Thanksgiving is my brother's birthday. I've got 3 sisters and a brother. One sister was born on Christmas Day. I was born on Mother's Day, and my brother was born on Thanksgiving. And then my 2 other sisters were born on regular days. So we get to share holidays at some point, and my brother's a good sport. Been a fabulous younger brother. Again, my dad gets a lot of credit of being the original collector when he was a kid and still having some cards. But my brother rekindled in 1967. I was a senior in high school, and it had to be March or April, spring of 67. My brother, for whatever reason, got some packs of 67 Topps. My recollection, just like Rich Klein can remember, he kicked in with 4th series of 68, but my brother got in 1967, I believe 4th series, as I said, March or April. I thought, wow, that's interesting. I've always liked the 67 Topps design, and that made me thankful for my brother. His cards have somehow mysteriously reappeared in my collection, I think. So, Chris, I don't think I maliciously converted them, and I'm not blaming my mom for having some cards. These are probably Jim's. I don't know. I think my brother didn't have enduring interest in cards. Let's put it that way. And I certainly did. I'm in good health, and I'm really enjoying. I really have talked about wanting to do at least 1,000 episodes. And I thought I'm already up in the high 800s if you just count the numbered episodes. And then I plan to do some more stuff on YouTube, which is going to take some time. So I've made the decision that I'm going to go to 3 times a week. I'm going to go to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting next week. I thought maybe do that next year, or after I hit 1,000, I'll go to 3 times a week. I thought, wait a minute. I've made up my mind that I can do what I want to do at 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So why don't I just do that? I want to feel like I'm retired and not like I have a Monday through Friday job. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, still allowing me to do the interviews I want to do without scrambling to put together an episode. I just had so many deadlines back in the day, and I did have a heart attack. I don't want to have a heart attack. The podcast's not going to give me a heart attack. In fact, it's probably more therapeutic. But I don't know that I want to stop at 1,000. I think the best chance for me to go on and to continue to contribute to the hobby that I love so much, that we all love so much, is to reduce the frequency. I don't think that means I'm going to waver from my 15 minutes for each episode. And yet it's possible that there could be something that would come up in next year or the year after that would be worth a special episode, that would be more than in my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some additional ones, or having a longer episode. So I don't need to make promises that I may not be able to keep anyway. Again, there are no rules. I'm doing a podcast and I can do it when I feel like it. You can listen when you feel like it. I do think that some people have had trouble keeping up when it's an everyday podcast. Even at 15 minutes, it really adds up. And I think some people can get discouraged. I don't want you to get discouraged. If I'm 3 times a week, it'll be less onerous. And then some of my most listened to episodes are episodes from the past that still have timeless, evergreen topics that people seem to continue to enjoy. So I don't discourage that. So if this means people on Tuesday or Thursday, they have a chance to dig in and pick up some episodes that they haven't listened to, or listen to something else, that's fine. Again, I just think there's so much good content being created in the hobby that people ought to go for it. My litany is that education counts, being smart counts, and make card collecting, whether it's collecting or investing, it ought to be a game of skill, not a game of luck. Ironically, when I was a college professor, which I really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed everything I've done. I've really been blessed. But my first main full-time career was being a college professor, and I taught statistics. You know how many times I had classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Almost never, because that was not conducive to going to card shows. As much as possible, when I was a prof, I tried to get my classes scheduled for the Tuesday, Thursday, which generally the classes were longer if they were Tuesday, Thursday. And I couldn't do that every time. But I think my department and the dean and my department chair, when I was this young budding assistant professor, it wasn't a secret. They knew I had a side gig. And so if I'm going to go to a card show that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not cutting class. I mean, my job was to be a professor, to teach. And if I had a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I wasn't going to call in sick. That's not honest. I wasn't going to no-show. So as much as possible, I think they were very accommodating to me. And I realized, why did they do that? Was that special favor to me? No, I don't know that it was anything special, other than they thought, here's a guy that we'd like to have work here for a long time. And I did earn tenure, so I would have had a lifetime job there. So they wanted me to enjoy my work, which I think I brought that over into my company. I wanted to hire people that would enjoy working there, and I wanted to do my part to make it work for them, whether that's flexible schedules. So I had a lot of Tuesday, Thursday classes. And that allowed me to, and I was always back Sunday night from the shows, but some of the shows you had to leave on Friday, or most of them were Saturday, Sundays, but to leave on Friday would be good. I just was thinking that my fellow professors and the dean whom I played golf with knew that I loved the hobby and would go out on certain weekends for buying trips or for card shows. And it was way smaller in those days, but it was still a lot of fun. And it was a part of my life then. At any rate, this is my decision. You're welcome to weigh in. I think at the same time, I'm thinking I've made other promises in the podcast about my famous 1% a month reduction. I've achieved that a few months this year, but I've had negative 1 or 2%. In other words, I've had growth. I've made some bigger purchases in the 2022 year. And so I'm not on target for my 1% a month reduction. And the only way I'm going to do that is to dedicate more time. It's not to, like I said, I don't want to quit the podcast, because the podcast keeps me fresh, aware, and enjoying. I love learning, but I need to dedicate some more time to eBay. I'm a fan of ComC because they do the work. But for eBay, you've got to do some of the work. I've got to prepare the cards. I've got to ship the cards. I actually enjoy that, but I need to spend some more time on it to get back to my 1% a month. My card wall is still lagging. I have not taken the time, and I'm still waiting for this one more big submission to be returned from BGS so I can do a little ripple effect to be replacing and improving and editing and updating my wall. I look forward to doing that. If I'm 3 times a week doing podcasts, that frees me up for a couple of days to, instead of doing the podcast, to do a YouTube video or to prepare some more lots to get my cards that I don't want as much in the hands of somebody that really wants it. I do think on eBay I'm enjoying, I've gotten some repeat business there, and I've actually gotten business from people that I knew. Didn't know, I don't think they knew that it was me, but I recognized the name and I thought, well, that's interesting. But I know that they are a fan of that player or something like that. So that's exactly what I wanted to do with eBay and any of the sales. I want to get my cards in the hands. And so to give myself a little more time to express my hobby that way instead of another 2 days a week of the podcast. So that's it. So anyway, give you a little preview or opportunity to peek into my thought process. Again, very thankful for my brother, my wife, my extended family, everybody that's contributed. It's a hobby if you can pick it up and put it down when you want to. If you can't put it down, it's an addiction. So your family needs to know they come first. Family, you come first, and people are more important than cards, even cards that are pictures of people. Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey or too much of any one thing. Have some moderation there. Go a little bit overboard, but not too much. So thanks, and again, see you tomorrow.